A fight started. Let's go.
This is the story
Oh,
of a
come
man
on!
named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job.
Please tell me it's saved. Good. Okay. Never mind. Crisis
I mean,
averted.
it said skippable, so I would assume so.
I would hope so, because I don't know. I'm not used to this being how this, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, I feel like I'm drifting a lot more than before. And the sensitivity's higher than before. Anyway, let's see what this is finally. This sensitivity is way higher than before. That's still high. Am I turning the wrong dial? What is sensitivity 0? That's a bit better, I guess. Maybe. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know what's comfortable. Maybe 5 was okay. Yeah, I guess that's fine.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Well, I want to see other stuff, Mr. Brighton. I can always go back, right?
Remember, they shut doors
Oh,
after you pass them.
you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares? Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
Ah. Outside. Logan screwed. I can probably come back here, right? I don't know.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Cool. Made a whole chapel? Question mark? Oh my.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
That's why I'm recording this. From memories sake.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Wait a minute, didn't the game add a reticle? Auto walk, right click. There it is. Ah, amazing.
You change its size.
Yeah, that seems good.
Windows. Always. The opacity.
Ah, yeah. Come on. You know what I want, game?
Hello.
Ah.
It won't let you.
No, I think I saw it.
What if you scroll it?
Uh,
Like, put your mouse over it and scroll it? No?
yeah, I'm not. It's not.
You're not able to...
What's the chance that they just disabled the option? It goes straight from 68 to 70. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh well, supposed to. 2013. Script. Postcard. Mozilla Firefox. Didn't.
Oh my god. I remember when Firefox used to look like that!
I remember Windows X. XP. Yeah, that's the one. Said it by 24 words. Your sign meaning has spelled last words.
I have XP in the closet.
What closet?
My bedroom closet.
What about your bedroom closet? Oh.
I have XP on the computer.
Oh. Me too, but it's not in the closet. It's right next to the closet door. British Academy of Film and Television Arts awarded to Stanley Parable 2014. Independent Games. Didn't that actually win an award at that one? Collector's Edition. That sucks. Auto walk is hold right click, not toggle with right click. It's a $1. It's Mr. Krabs' $1 bill. Oh boy, on a CRT. Music. The ever elusive achievement. That one's more elusive than that one. Nominee, nominee, nominee. Native. Ooh, get up, please. News that's fit to print. 2013. Memory Shack.
And over here is where I keep
No!
reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Dang, that's sad, Mr. Brightling. Get me back out. There's another path. Minecraft? Everyone's first dirt hut. Portal 2. Let me maintain the memory though. Zone. Man, I wish I could zoom in. The double doors. I wonder why they always blur his face in pictures like that when the model is literally right there for him. Holy fuck, is that hammer? Is that hammer? Oh god, I don't want to look at that. You ever tried to use hammer before?
No, because I've never actually played the game since I don't own the game.
No, hammer is like the map editor for Valve games like TF2 and Half-Life, and it is old and crusty as hell.
No.
Because you don't like, drag like a polygon or something into place to make a structure for a map. No, you have to use like actual math and give the dimensions of the figure to make the map. So you have to like put in every individual coordinate for all the walls and stuff. I think that's how it works anyway. Blue door or the red door? Start Anders. Oh, that's the demo. They can't do anything. Literally anything.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Source. SDK. Mr. Brighting, how am I gonna get through the box? Through the box.
Magic.
The serious room.
Yeah, you can't go into the serious room.
Wait, these
you
were
just opened the
simpler
door.
times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to
I
go
heard
back
a door open.
to have it all over again.
Oh, never mind.
Probably, yep.
Wait,
Yeah.
Hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Looks right. Ah, crap.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
No. I'm gonna take a guess what it says. It's gonna say no sex.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
I think the game might be too loud, and it might, as a matter of fact, be drowning you out. Oh, it's raining now. Rain in Stanley Parable. I never would have expected it. Is Stanley forklift certified? We probably could be.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can.
I can't talk.
This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with.
Yeah.
You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt.
Oh,
Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Excuse me. What is this animated environment in my Stanley Parable doing here? Also, this is a terrible idea. Things are only going to go badly.
I love the skip button.
Oh no.
I
love the skip
Oh
button.
no.
And here it is. Go
You'll
ahead and give it a
understand
shot.
why.
I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue. And it goes something like this. the story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, until the end of time, at which time, everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. Got the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until
Is he
just
just picking
yesterday,
lines at
here and
random that
there,
he says
forward and
throughout
back,
the game?
and never a moment before lunchtime.
Some of these actually
Can't
sound
be.
a bit
It's
familiar.
the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you,
Okay,
and therefore,
fine,
by
Mr.
becoming it
Writing.
is, so on and so forth, until inevitably,
You say so.
until... Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations
like
on the nature
5
of
minutes
choice
of
in
you
video
actually-
games. Of course, I happen to believe
that'd
it
be
was
cool.
perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time
I'm
a
actually
monument
slightly
to
interested.
every person you've
That's-
ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at
Actually
once. That you are both making
he actually-
choices and not
You
making
know?
choices, and that they are both affecting you
You
and
want me
not
to press the
affecting
skip
you at the
button,
same
don't you?
time by virtue of the fact that you both are
I
and
want
are
you to
not
see the
making them.
consequences.
Okay, at
I don't
first,
want to make
was
the
leaning towards a
consequences.
manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around.
I don't like
and
consequences.
slap
It's all part of the
treatise
story.
label on this one. I think it has much more of
okay.
a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that...
Very well. Forced consequences.
Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of
Sport.
the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof.
As
It's all
the
over.
button
Oh, I can't wait to
slowly
see what
poofs
Cookie
back
9
out.
will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam rip. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe
Ooh.
30, 45 minutes. It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But
Oh,
at
the
any
door's
rate,
gone.
I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it.
Every time you
until-
hit the skip
Wait,
button, take
how
a
did
look
it get
around
out
your
of here?
surroundings, see what's
Where
different.
did the door go? Wasn't there
Everything's
a door
gonna
that
do-
led into this room?
There, I
do
was.
feel
See,
quite
I thought there was a
certain that
door here
one
too, wasn't
before.
there?
How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window, or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall
I'm
until
dying,
enough
Mr.
damage is done
Writing.
for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here.
Maybe if we use the
need a
button
door.
and wait
we need
long
a door
enough,
of some kind.
the walls
I can
will
work
collapse.
with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another.
But then
I'm going to step
Mr.
away for
Writing might
just a
go
moment,
mad from the
and I'm going to
isolation
try to
if I'm
find
not
us a
here for
door.
long.
I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way. I
That's
Hit
what's
the
gonna-
button.
That's what's
You
gonna
just
happen, isn't
need
it?
to not do anything.
Hit the button.
Don't press.
I'm
Stanley,
sorry.
Stanley, please don't push the button
no.
again. It's been 12 hours.
Well,
You've just been frozen
are
there.
both those lights
I don't know
gone?
why the skips are getting longer, but they're
Oh, the
really
lights died,
truly
yep.
getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone.
There are more
I've
pipe.
looked at it from every
No, I think that
angle. I've
pipe was
checked
there
every
before.
one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button. And if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here. And more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it.
Sorry,
and I
Mr.
have
Brighting,
to
the
believe
voices in my
I have
head are
to know
telling me
that-
to do it.
Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness.
Oh no.
Someone to talk to again.
We have one
Stanley,
light.
It's been a
It's
week.
been a week. Or 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I've been sitting here all that
I'm
time.
sorry,
just
Mr.
sitting here,
Brighting.
not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed,
camera.
Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters
Who's
anymore.
watching?
I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to
Oh,
the
no, it's
ground.
not a camera,
One
that's a smoke
single
detector.
thing I need, and
Button.
God, I can see now that I need it more than anything,
Sorry,
is to
Mr.
know
Brighting.
that someone else...
It's gonna be like a year.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think
Now
about
we have
you
no
and
light.
about us and about everything we've been through.
Well,
I've had so much time.
there
I
is.
stopped keeping track after a
It's
year.
just
Have you
like,
ever
after
sat
a
down in
year.
one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret.
Sorry. Are we gonna make Mr. Brighting die of old age? Oh no, he's dead.
No, no, hit the button.
Yeah. Oh, the fire alarm's going off.
No, the smoke detector's dying.
Oh.
Hit the button.
But they didn't understand the
Oh.
game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They
Whenever you're ready, hit the button.
They gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs down review and make all
This
of
is
their
the
critical
regret
remarks.
he was talking
Hear him
about.
broken
He's talking
again,
too
come
much,
on.
they said. First, he
What?
didn't entertain us, now he went,
I want to
shut
hear
up.
him
It's the
broken.
inconsistency.
Hit
It's
the
the lack of
button.
accountability. It's
Oh,
the
no.
unwillingness to
I don't like this. The clock fell off the wall.
Oh.
Surprised those tree. Once more.
Hit the button. Let's go. Sticky breaks to the
The
next
end
one.
is never the end. Is
Oh,
never
he
the
did.
End is never the end. Is never
I
the
broke
end. Is
him.
never the end. Is 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 never the end.
He
is
just
never
repeats
the-
that nonstop.
Madness mantra. I swear to God, if one of these times I turn around and there's just Mr. Brighting himself, I'm gonna fucking scream. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
You
I
look
don't
at the
like
ceiling?
it. I don't
You
want to
look
look.
at the ceiling?
Oh God! You're shitting me. It's gonna turn into Portal 2.
Go ahead, hit the button.
It's gonna turn into Portal 2.
We have daylight! You can go and expect that
Glad
every
I'm sorry
night.
out there.
We can't get out, but you can look at it. Hit the button.
GLaDOS. GLaDOS, pull me out with your claw arm. Oh God, there's. Ugh.
How much time has gotten away from you is the question.
However much time passed between Portal 1 and 2. Probably. Oh, come on, who boarded it back up?
They didn't, it's dark.
Oh, it's night. Okay. Nope. No, I'm mashing left click. I'm mashing interact and left. No, I'm mashing left click. I don't like those sounds. Oh god, the button fell. Oh god, the room's
Time
tilted.
to explore!
Is the button broken now?
It's a conundrum. You went into a box. You're in a box for I don't know how long. Do you live or do you not live? That is the question. You are Schrodinger's cat.
Schrodinger's Stanley.
Yes, Schrodinger's Stanley. Now you're in a desert.
If we press the button a few more times, I'm sure a civilization will spring up eventually. Come on, let me walk up here. Oh, we're back to civilization. Beep, beep, beep.
Skip
boop.
button door.
No, I don't want to skip the button.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Where's the
Perhaps
next
he had
input
simply
for the
missed a memo.
computer terminals? I didn't like that at all. I don't like that kind of stuff. It makes me start thinking about stuff I don't want to think about.
It's perfectly safe.
If they couldn't sign. No, the line is gone. Remember the line could be seen through that window? Gone. Was it even that
Adventure line.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Come on, close the door. I want to go over here. I don't like that. Skip that. I don't like it. I hope he doesn't remember.
That we kept hitting the skip button?
Yes. New content. Why is it written backwards? Did we come from the wrong way?
No, you're fine.
Also, isn't this just the elevator in the boss's room?
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this Ultra Deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this Ultra Deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Investor showcase.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Testing 2 printers at the same time. Also, the fucking release date for the game was awesome. April 27th, 427. I love it. That is legitimately
Calling it the
awesome.
Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Oh, Mr. Writing, don't fall to the trap of commercialism? Capitalism, that's what I wanted to say. That too. Someone needs to write up that too. But not me. I don't have arms. What? Oh yeah, we gotta find the font for the two. Keep on trucking. That's a font. They're back. The 2 doors. There's a 3rd one now. More teaspoon. Better teaspoon. Oh, the Stanley Parable. Never mind. Paradigm shift. Frickin'. Envelop client-centric. Color red. Leverage holistic value. Thanks for attending my meeting. Oh god, that's supposed to be some horrific amalgamation of a 2 and a question mark, isn't it?
Probably.
2 Stanleys, too furious.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
What's a scrum? Is it a sports thing? I don't know. That's not as catchy as the end is never the end. Sequels are good. Maybe not that one. Maybe not the Aladdin one. That one was pretty terrible. Crab. Return to Crab. Where Crab? Give Crab. Valued invest. Is this way to the show floor? New features. New content. Plus. Is that gonna get out of here? This is suddenly feeling like Devolver Digital's virtual expo game, whatever that thing was.
Go on, try out some of the new features.
Did you ever look at that, by the way?
What again?
Devolver Digital had like a game that was also their expo for the year during COVID times.
I don't recall.
It's really cool. I think you might actually still be able to. I don't know if you can download it correctly. The button that says the name of the player that's playing the game. Enter your name at the game. Go to the new features. Drink. Doors. Epilogue. Is that an elevator? I can't see. I don't want to go through any of the doors in case they close behind me.
But you'll always leap back out.
They will?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. I don't know about that carpet. That carpet's kind of terrible. Red is the new
Orange.
orange. The new updated ray trace, more of the same, but in a good way, sequel to the new features, content, ideas. That's just the warehouse. You know, I should realize it. They actually did have to make all of these. They probably had to actually make all of these maps to get these screenshots. Huh. The jump circle. The infinite hole. Oh, I know that. I know what the infinite hole is. I said that the bucket was the only spoiler I knew, but that was a lie. I've seen a screenshot of the... There's the bucket! Found the bucket. I'm gonna go to the bucket last. Bucket. Bucket. Hold on. I got a QR code to scan. Hold on, does this actually this just brings you to their actual merch site, doesn't it?
I have no idea.
Alright, I don't actually know if I have a QR scanner on my phone.
I do. Hold on.
Okay. Does it even detect as a valid QR?
Working on it.
I am too now. Okay, it took it. The StanleyParable2.com.
That's funny.
Welcome to the official website of the Stanley Parable 2. Oh god.
You're right. I like literally. I'm like, why is it not taking it? I had to zoom in. That is funny. A sequel, huh?
All you people at home, if you haven't already done that, do it.
Join the Crows Discord or follow us on Twitter.
That's
new.
That's a great way to do it.
And more of a prequel start person, then check out the Stanley Parable. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of the exhibit.
No, I knew it! I knew that there was a spoiler behind me.
What do players
Yeah, I said they will, but you'll be able to come back out.
The first and most obvious answer is that they want to be
There's a
individually
freaking video on the
recognized
site.
and validated as people.
I'll watch it after I'm
So
done.
with that in mind,
I
my
don't
want
first
picking
addition
up
to
on
the
my
game
mic.
is this button, which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
That's a button that you gotta hit with a hammer in a video game. That's what that is.
The Donkey Kong hammer.
Yes, I think.
Jim.
That's not
Sorry,
my name.
I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you
Jim is now
role-play
your
as
name.
Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature.
Your name
Just
is not
play along.
Stanley, it
I
is now
promise
Jim.
you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
No, I want to
I
be
want
me.
you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim,
Teabag
watching your
Jim.
dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really
Oh wait, I
truly Jim
forgot
right
that my
now?
microphone picks up my
If so,
keyboard,
then
so now
please
everyone's
step
hearing
forward
my
and press the button.
mashing of the control button.
Jim.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
I'm gonna get to the bucket.
Jim.
Ooh, it hits even
me
harder
get to
the
the
second
bucket.
time. If this were the only
Keep
new
spamming,
feature in the
Jim.
Stanley Parable 2,
Huh?
it would still be worth
Keep
the money.
spamming Jim.
Let's take a break from the Jim button.
Okay.
I'm too emotionally
I probably
drained
would.
from all of this personal validation.
Jim.
Whoa there,
Just keep
cowboy.
spamming.
Sometimes a person can be too much Jim.
Jim. Jim.
I'm putting the Jim
Jim.
button away.
Jim.
No.
Otherwise, soon you'll
How
start to
dare
lose
you.
all sense of who you actually are.
Jim.
No, it's gonna be
We're just on the floor. Alright, you can now leave.
I guess that's you can't put it
Downstairs.
away much better than that, can you?
Nope.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley
No.
Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Mr. Brighting, no! I want the bucket. Give me bucket.
Yeah, don't go down the epilogue until you're ready, like you've done this area.
Okay, good. Bucket.
Go get the bucket.
Bucket!
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical.
Where's
That
the bucket?
It engendered a chaotic sense of reckless
bucket.
despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration,
Look up.
I've engineered a clever solution
Oh my
to
God.
this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket
It's
is in
the
your
companion
arms.
cube
And to be
equivalent.
honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the
me
perfect
bucket.
solution. Come on, give it a try.
Yes, bucket. What have you done?
Now go to the
Can you
infinite hole.
feel it? The glow of comfort,
Oh.
even in the face of crushing despair, must already be
Oh,
sweeping
I gotta
through
throw the
your
bucket
body.
in the hole,
And in
don't I?
fact, can I say that I do
You
believe
must
the
go to
bucket
the
brings you an
infinite
air
black
of
hole.
charisma as well?
I knew it.
I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive
I
as a
didn't know it,
person.
but I mean, like,
The benefits of the
I probably
bucket seem
should
to
have
go
been able
on
to
and on,
guess.
don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
yeah, I honestly probably should have been able to guess that you had to throw the bucket in the hole. Because if Portal 1 has taught me anything, that the game doesn't let you keep your companion cube.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should
But-
be an award if it isn't already.
Infinite hole. Infinite hole.
Why is the bucket so detailed?
Oh, it gets funnier when you go into the utility closet with it.
Oh my god, You mean the broom closet?
It's the
No,
same thing. Utility, broom closet.
Broom
Different.
tilted. Re-achievement, where's Q? Outside the bounds of... Okay. Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah, you get to go to it. You can't get it, but you can go into the room.
Q... Where am I? 5... There... Q's the
Maybe you should look at see what
opposite-
5
oh.
is. Let's go to
No,
the
I-
infinite hole. Oh. You can go to the achievement
I
first.
could just look for the massive sign instead of trying to triangulate.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well,
Yeah.
I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
It doesn't work, does it?
Not right now.
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the
achievement.
hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously
I
demanding
am
this feature. Gamers,
completely convinced
we hear
that
you,
the
and I
quote-unquote
promise it
test
will happen.
achievement is what you get for getting whatever the hell the true ending is. Come on, come on. You just gotta throw the bucket at it, Stanley. Come on, I'm sure that'll knock out whatever's jamming the cogs in this thing. You freshly made the contraption. How is it jammed already? I don't think you even used it yet. I swear to God, if this
What
video
else?
ends up
What
with
other exhibits haven't we seen
circle.
yet? You know
Oh,
what,
the jump
Stanley?
circle.
I actually think the jump circle was a pretty good idea. I'd like to hang on to that for the sequel.
Why do you have so much gravity on your way down?
You're holding a bucket.
Surely that can't be why. If it turns out that I have to save these jumps for like an endgame thing, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Nah, not really.
Okay, good.
I made you save the jump so you can jump here.
Oh man, I wish it beeped every time I pressed the spacebar now. But no, it doesn't. Why?
I let you know that you just ran out. Not that you have none, that you just ran out.
But just let
Infinite hole!
You want the hole, you want the hole.
I want the hole!
What's that one? That's this one.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday.
12th?
Which would you go with?
I would go with... I can't remember what the first option was, but I also don't want it to be the second one.
Do the second one everyone does to get well. He opened up a spot in the door.
Oh.
Right there.
Where?
Hey, look at that. No, you gotta choose the balloon. You can't get out without choosing a balloon.
Oh. Oh, this one's funnier.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
You did.
Well,
That's not what happened
maybe I
there.
should
You
have gone
just
with-
wanted to be
No.
spiteful.
No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Yeah, it does it every time. Because everyone picks the happy birthday step niece, and it gives you the fucking oh god, what is it? The get well soon. So if you push the get well soon, we get the 12th birthday one.
I knew it. He just wanted to be spiteful. Settings,
Yeah.
world champ. Oh. I need to set. Oh, I know what the. Oh.
No, doesn't
There's
matter if you do that.
Okay. It's not like.
It doesn't matter if you do that.
Okay. Okay. So the door doesn't unlock if you get it. Okay.
No,
why am I-
no, it'll unlock later. You want to go to the hole?
I gotta zoom my FOV back out. It'll unlock when?
When we come back here again.
Oh, cool. Yay. I wanna come back.
I want the infinite hole, please. Thanks.
I want. Where's the hole? Collectibles. Oh, there's the hole.
Behind you, right there, infinite hole. Yep. Into the hole, into the hole. No matter what he
Right
says,
here.
you're gonna keep going back into the hole.
What if I jump into the hole with the bucket? I wanna do that. I don't wanna let go of the bucket.
Well, you can't let go of the bucket. That's the problem.
Oh, so I
Once
do
you
have to
pick it up,
jump
you can't
into
let
it.
go until the end
Yep.
of the
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game.
Definitely.
This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
No, you can't get down. Yeah, it's not gonna let you get around anything else. Let's get in the hole.
I have to jump in, don't I?
Whee!
But I wanna see
Into
what
the
else
hole.
there is to do before the hole.
No, do the hole. Do the
Fine,
hole. Trust me.
fine.
Trust me. Just do the hole. Just do the hole. Trust me.
Bye bye, world. Bye bye,
You see?
Mr.
Isn't it
Brighting.
wonderful?
Wait a
One of my
minute,
more
is it like Gravity
ingenious
Falls where you just
concoctions, if I do say so.
Go back
Now
out
then,
the other.
since
Go back
you've
out
gotten to
the way you
see
came
the
in.
infinite hole,
Just
you can
wait
press the
for it.
teleport
Don't
button
whatever
to
he
pop
does,
back
whatever he
up
tells
to
you
the
to do,
top,
don't do it. Just
and
keep
we can
falling.
continue onward.
Keep falling.
Do I have to look a certain? Is there a thing I would need to see? Do I need to look up or down?
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the
Keep
teleport
falling.
button to go back to
It's
the
gonna
top.
look down then.
Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Now, there is a bottom to it, isn't there? He doesn't want me to go splat.
Okay, Stanley.
Keep
I don't
Also-
know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of
I like the
infinity.
shepherd's tone, by the
From
way.
one perspective, the infinite
alright.
is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a...
There it is.
Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by
I don't get the
falling.
jump, so I don't get
What
the fall that
normal
often
person
either.
actually wants to fall infinitely.
Wait for
I
it.
think
When
if
you
the
go back
hole
up,
was as
jump
deep
back
as
in.
anyone would
Of
actually
course
need,
I
don't
would.
you
Why
put
wouldn't
this
I?
on me. Maybe you're
You
the
just keep
problem.
going in.
Look, things got
Reach
a
the
bit
bottom,
heated there.
do
I
it
think we
again.
both
There's a
said some
pinprick of
things we
light at the
didn't
top.
mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the whole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Can you say anything if I
Okay,
don't go?
tell No,
Great.
go to the
Now,
surface.
I'm very
Jump back
excited
in.
to show you even
Just wanna
more
see
of
what
my
he says
ideas for the
first.
sequel.
No.
Oh, for heaven. You see? I was right.
The problem is you.
The problem is that you
Wait
like
for it.
holes too much.
Go ahead, look down.
Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite
Oh,
hole
is it?
right there. Goes on forever till the end of time.
Make it
Don't need
shorter
to see it all, but
and
not
shorter
you. Oh, no, no,
and
no.
shorter
That's weird.
The
and
hole
shorter.
gets shorter every time you fall.
Did the hole
Yeah.
seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less
Wait
time
till you
in
see how
there than you
short
did
it
It
before.
eventually
Yes.
is like a step,
Admittedly,
isn't it? It's a
I
step
didn't
down.
make an infinite
Yes.
hole, but I didn't think it was
Then you
that
still have to
not infinite.
teleport out.
Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here.
Because you can't
decide
jump.
You've had enough of the hole. You can hit
Now you
the
see the
teleport
solution
button
is to
and
make
come
the
join
jump
me up
circle
above.
and the infinite hole the same thing.
Had enough?
Good.
I'm
Jump
positively
in.
thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime.
I haven't.
Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability in marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
Oh boy, more fall. Ah, my water bottle.
Well, there it is.
He's all for
Some
it.
of my lies come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's bare. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
If this, okay, so if this does not become flush with the floor next to this teleport, then this game is failed. I'm pressing G.
Is the
Oh,
teleport button not working? You sure?
yeah.
Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again.
I gotta put the bucket down and
Still
use it as a
nothing?
step.
Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity.
The fade out as he walks away. I don't like sounds. I don't like sounds. I don't want monster through that. I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
Don't worry, nothing's coming for you.
Not even Mr. Brighting.
No.
Is Is it the lady narrator or is it just ominous music?
Ominous
Oh my
music.
god, what the fuck?
Oh, right. I forgot this part happens. I can't remember what happens afterwards, but it's funny.
Come on.
That the whole, alright, you are mine.
Come on, Bucket, we're going for an adventure. It just goes back to the original depth, doesn't it? It just takes like half an hour to get back down there and then teleport back out. Change, what the fuck?
Change your perspective. You're no longer holding the bucket. oh, this gets intensely better as you go. Just keep changing your
Is it like-
perspective. It gets better. Oh, I remember what happens. This gets so trippy.
Change your perception?
It gets trippier. The hole has claimed you.
Change, oh my, it's just gonna eventually go like, over to like the enter button, isn't it?
Oh wait, change your reality.
Oh. Stanley has no. Fuck. Change yourself. I knew it. Oh my god. That's it. You gotta get everything close. No, change perception again. I don't like that one. Oh no, I don't like that one. Oh no.
no.
What are all
no.
these? Hold up.
They're different versions of Stanley.
Moral oral? Is that what that? Oh, I don't like that one. Oh, it's Tumblr. Stanley.
Stanley!
Oh, hi.
Oh, good, you're awake.
Huh?
It seems you sort of dozed off there, drifting away into
No, I
You
wanted
left
to
us
see.
alone. What do you expect, man?
Because this hole is just so
I wanted to
darn
see more versions
fascinating
of Stanley.
that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the whole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
It's not just because I dozed off, is it? It actually is. Like going, it is actually like something that's trying to avoid the narrator's ire. No, okay, never mind. No, I didn't get high above. You say I can go back later, I can, okay. Oh, this is the new respawn point, I guess.
Oh no, that's because you ended with
Here we
the
are. Go
hole.
on. Try out some of the new features.
There's no other way out if you kept jumping in the hole.
Oh, is there another bucket? Did the bucket duplicate?
No,
They
the bucket
commit-
doesn't duplicate.
Oh. Well, I hope you can just stack multiple buckets in this bucket.
Exactly not.
Why is auto run not toggle? You would think that'd be the whole reason to have an auto run to begin with, right?
You would think.
Fine. No, the jump circle didn't reset. How dare it?
No, it doesn't reset.
Can you find them? Can you find them? Can you find the bodies that Mr. Brighting stuck in the closet? Is that what it's asking? The
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up
Oh,
these
boy.
miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them.
Oh,
I
I
don't
don't
want
like
to stifle
those
the intrinsic
bodies.
joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
I don't like any of this. I don't like the way that figure looks either. That looks worse than a... Looks like it's... It looks like it's worth $3. No, I lie. It looks like it's worth $1.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
The whole achievement. Circle map. Eventually, I guess. Is that open yet? Settings World Champion open yet? Can I go back to the Infinite Hull?
No, they blocked it out. Did you notice?
Fine. Fine, it ended. Did you notice? There.
Yep.
Oh, mostly infinite.
Yep, mostly infinite.
The door backed up. I wanna fall more. I don't think that's how it works. World Tour. Settings World Champion? What the it's called. The button that says gym. Change that to. We did everything here, right? Right? Your silence tells me.
Just we didn't go through the epilogue area.
Okay, it's the last thing now.
Or the collectibles.
We did.
You sure we did?
We just did, like, 2 seconds ago.
I don't recall us going through the collectibles.
What, you mean the other 5, or just the one that was there?
The actual collectibles area, not the achievement.
You mean up there? Yeah, we went that way. Like
Back there, behind the screen.
Yeah, like 2 seconds ago.
I do not recall this.
Yeah, I was saying
right.
about how I don't like how the bodies looks.
Right. Alright, yeah, so we go to the epilogue area.
The button that says gym. I don't mean gym.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Is that it? That's it. I thought you said the epilogue was the last thing we do.
And now we can just go to the exit. Because it was no point to go in there, but you have to activate it for some shit.
What, is Settings World Tour open yet?
No. But you can go check.
Okay. And you're telling me it doesn't unlock after you get the achievement for it, okay.
Nope. It does not.
Does this work yet? Come on, Stanley, lift those legs. Run! No. Gotta check every door. The exit's not open, though. Oh, it is. I thought the exit was that way, not here.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
One suitcase. Oh, dynamic lighting. Look at the bucket.
It has ray tracing.
The game actually does have that.
So, Stanley, what do you
Yeah,
think?
it actually does
Do you
have ray
like
tracing.
all of the new features?
Oh.
Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
That looks worse.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully,
That's just
of
what
course,
this is.
with respect, with care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up.
I feel like the fog down there.
All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Oh boy. I do actually kind of like this. Corridor being this mind-bending fits actually rather well.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a
there's the
company in a big
balloons.
building where he was employee
Yes.
number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month
Step
of
back
every
faster,
year.
Stanley.
And
You,
although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the order. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
But... Oh, what the... Bucket!
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Okay.
Here's the infinite hole.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
No.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Bucket might as well be its own character.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room?
Yes.
Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Okay, so what does it say about the bucket instead of about how Stanley was admiring the room?
Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right, then walking to the lounge, then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired.
Wait a minute. That's exactly why they put the rope barrier there. So that you wouldn't walk past the bucket on
Perhaps
accident.
This was where the bucket felt most truly
That's why they put it there.
Here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home.
I think that was 3. It usually only says 2 lines here, doesn't it? Does he say more?
Stanley decided to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
Ah, Mr. Brighting, talk more about the bucket. I wonder what the bucket has to say about the adventure line. No, is that it?
That's it.
That's it. I would fade
But
you.
finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
Oh, there's a balloon out here, even. I think I should see the adventure line.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Alright, adventure line or broom closet?
Closet.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the
Yes, no,
bucket's
I've got
warmth and
whiteboards.
comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's
I don't
office
think those
was
papers
where
were
he'd
there
find
before. Were on
answers.
the whiteboard before. I don't think the whiteboard said that stuff before. I think these. Are these new whiteboards? It's the same, I think. Can't tell.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments.
You don't even
Expand on the
deserve the
wide
broom that
variety
your
of
closet is
experiences
named
you and the
after.
bucket have shared together. Go through each of them
Oh,
point
was
by
that good?
point.
Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional
have any
landscape of your
journals.
feelings for the bucket, as they have changed and evolved over the years.
I
There
fell
you
in love
have
with the
it.
bucket the moment I first saw it in a YouTube thumbnail.
The bucket.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go.
Ha!
There.
Yes!
Now it's settled. No more
Perfect!
debate, no more discussion.
I'm peeking the
Take
mic, but
a
it's fine.
hike, Broom Closet,
Wait
with
for
all
it.
your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to
Wait
broom
for
closets in the
it.
natural
Did he take the
order of
sticker off?
things.
No.
Does he have another one?
Yes.
Awesome.
Alright, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see? I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
I wish he just kept adding stickers. Think of
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us a silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
I still love how he just walks away from the mic every time he leaves. It's awesome. Hello. Oh, he doesn't say anything. Oh.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I missed the adventure line because that was the elevator back a ways. You know what? I haven't shown you this one before, so I'm going to show you this one. Oh.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried.
Let me walk.
So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come
I don't even
across
like how they
one
look.
of these
They
beautiful
look
figurines.
terrible. Got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say, that's a lovely purse. Those are some very forced rhymes, Mr. Boss Man. So we got some choices. I'm gonna choose the choice that I haven't shown you yet.
Stepping into his manager's office,
Can't
Stanley
remember,
was
so I
once
have to
again
wait for-
stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos.
Wait a minute.
It would be with him
Auto walk means I
always.
can play the game
The
with
bucket
just
would.
the mouse now.
And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable.
Oh boy.
At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have
Can you
any
remember it?
notion that the pin number for the keypad was 2845.
2845. Oh wait, that's right, still.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
You did what? 0427?
Oh no, let me try that. Oh no, I didn't try that. Hold on. 0, 2.
For God,
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
It's like, yeah, fuck this.
Ah!
I'll help you.
Oh boy,
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What
Funko
about
Pops.
mini stands, Stanley figs. What about Stanlerines? Yes. I
Those
think
are
I
all
like
about
that.
as good
Another
names as how they look, which
Stanlerine
is
under your
terrible.
belt.
I wonder if it still happens. There's one in here that I haven't shown you yet. Probably has unique bucket dialogue.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
I wonder if I could go to the museum. Oh well. What about the bucket?
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen this one yet. But you will. If I have anything to say about it, and I do. Where's the number 3?
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely... Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket.
Was the
How
broom
was this not
closet
as
right?
exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Doesn't understand. We're never done pressing the number 3.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
If at the end of this, the bucket suddenly is attributed of what... Oh my god, if the bucket is attributed a voice actor in the credits, I'm gonna fucking die laughing.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket
Yeah, this
said
is
nothing.
very different than what it usually is without the bucket, too. You'll see. I'll do it with and without the bucket, because it's still funny both times. Wait, does this mean that there's a bucket version of every ending?
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll
yeah, I
really
believe
show
so.
you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument,
That's not-
weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears, and the whole time he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
Just gonna leave it like that. Comedy. Like the lowest form of...
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
Let's get a translator for the bucket.
said Stanley. I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work. For months, he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
World peace, baby. Oh my god. I'm always put off by that just being straight up the Minecraft door sound. Like, you heard that, right? The man, the process, the myth, the legend, the parable. Stanley from the Stanley Parable, live on stage. A conversation with Alexander the Great. He is not. 3! Oh, I was so excited about 3.
This was it.
Oh,
One last
Stanley.
chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
Eyes on the walls. Eyes on the walls. I don't like the eyes on the walls. That symbolism where cameras watching over you everywhere. Audience with the dude who came up with pizza.
There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure, and in that moment Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
That's actually kind of sad. What's... Oh, there's a text box. Where'd the text box go?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bucket.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
What kind of monster would you be to not take the bucket?
Stanley
I'm doing the
clutched
adventure line
bucket
with the
tightly to
bucket.
his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section
The
and walked
best
straight ahead
ending
to the
in the
opposite
game
door.
is the adventure line. I almost said the bucket. That's not an ending, that's an item.
Oh, good,
That's a
Stanley.
character,
I'm
even.
glad you found your way here.
Wait,
I
what?
knew you'd find this place eventually.
What did you do with the adventure line? Glad
You
my
see,
door's
your
closed.
friends and I are concerned
Not
for you,
closed enough,
Stanley.
though.
We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line?
Yes.
We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do
There.
it. Whee!
Yes.
Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to
No,
next?
not the
and it
magic.
played some silly music as well.
Music's still good as ever, but it's not the same.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
You know, pry this bucket out of my cold, dead hands. Also, did he walk into CP Orange? Oh. Looks like no, the door's already closed. Never mind. Da 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 da. Pry this bucket out of my cold, dead hands.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
Museum lady, where are you? I need to check
I think it'll
from the
make
narrator.
a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
We refuse.
Now listen to me.
Bucket is life.
It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality
That's
trait
not
deserve
good.
to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to
gonna
crush
destroy
buckets
itself?
is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about?
swing
The
the
Broom
lights.
Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll
run
have
and hide
to
behind
hurry
the
and feed
console.
it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush
God,
that
it turns
damn
towards me.
bucket.
Okay.
Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
I knew it was a good idea to hide behind the console. Oh god, what the fuck is happening? Why is it suddenly Ocarina of Time?
Bucket
What is this
Destroyer.
music?
My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Goodbye, new enemy. An enemy of Bucket is enemy of mine. Okay, so we're not gonna go down the adventure line again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What do you
Stanley
want to see?
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh. Laura. You there?
Sure, what to say.
Huh? Yeah, what do you want to see?
Anywhere. You can go anywhere.
Figurine Finders Committee meeting today in the meeting room.
Alright, they tell you
The
where they're all
confusion and the
located.
chaos
On the
all
whiteboard.
seemed to melt away
Oh, cool.
as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Mission status. Oh. This
Is
give
it
me
talking to
some-
you in a way it shouldn't?
I can taste how it's compared. Biglies. Bottom text. Space source location. We got managed to pick up sounds unusual for local audio source syncing. Cardioid microphones. Actual line microphone. Vanishes a very warm place. Be furtherance of porcelain surface. Trust the completionist instinct. I want to just tell something will happen in this investigation. Sure, and I feel pointless to be here. Saw one in cargo room. Is that the warehouse that you fall down in, and then you go to the holy truck stop, and then there's a bunch of music. It sounds like a basketball is bouncing around. Yeah. NDA, doing their contracts. Sell them. Do they want stock options? Employees, interns. Why do I like 427? Why float? Okay, green. Cargo room. There's a lot of places that could be a cargo room. Warehouse access. Eh? There's one plank to allow ease of access past fence. Oh. That's what it meant from... Remember when we fell down into the warehouse and there was something about employees' corpse?
Yeah.
I think that might have been this might be what they're talking about. The tree remains. Planks. Somewhere red and blue. Warehouse. Stairs. The only thing I can think that's both red and blue. Some point in the confusion ending, I think. has red and blue. Actually, I wonder what the bucket changes about the confusion ending.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh. Oh, this. Okay. Stanley? Hear the narrator singing Stanley along to the elevator music. You're still here, right?
Not.
Alright, that was fun.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the pin number for the keypad was 2845.
Oh.
2845.
I got the right numbers, it's the wrong order, alright?
Better than I did. I
Stanley
thought it was
guessed the
some
correct
kind of
code by sheer
87.
luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I know you need to go above mind control stuff. I really want to save the mind control stuff for last. Just out of spite. It's like the first ending you're supposed to get, but I want to get it last. Or at least as last as I possibly can.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read,
maybe we should go to the
Mind
museum.
Control Facility.
It's definitely not the way to the confusion ending, so I'm going to take the bucket to the museum.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death. The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
I'm going to go to the museum. Oh, I can...
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Mr. Writing.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
Huh.
was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket.
Oh yeah,
It's true that
screw
all
me, I
buckets
guess.
are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
We're getting an obituary for the bucket. Oh, no, wait, what? Bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You're standing at the precipice of knowledge, much like a bucket itself. Human mind is frequently empty within a kind of usually exhibit one of the other. Substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history. So, challenging about the information in this exhibit, we change the lives of self and the loved ones as a result of the sewer from that eye included. I think that might be the last ending for tonight, actually. Lara.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to
Where'd the
claim it
bucket
for
go?
his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that
There
the
goes your
bucket
bucket.
is far more noble
When did
than
it get out of my
Stanley will
arms?
ever be in his short
It
life?
stole it from you.
I didn't see the hook attached to me. Bye, friend. We'll meet in the next life, I guess. Or whatever the hell a restart counts as, if not in the next life. Okay, I guess it's
Okay.
just gonna stay there. Paragraph 25. Paragraph 0, some of the push through. That's more than 25. Pretty sure it's more than 25. Bucket with 2 handles. 2 handles such as eyes never just for attempting. Innovate on perfection and you get dead. Burno bucket. There's billions. Yes, because there were that many people alive in the medieval era. I said it earlier as a joke, but I think the game actually is just straight up making the bucket a character. Stress bucket. Oh. Bucket. Presented without commentary. I don't understand it. The ancient bucket. You know, the buckets predate uses my kind of. No, it's trying to tell the buckets allowing stuff to use it. Yeah.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Nah, we're equals. The hanging bucket must be symbolized as necessarily should be right. Wait, it's the hole. It's the infinite hole again. Everyone's back. Everyone's returning. Can't...
Go ahead, walk.
What? Oh.
Welcome to a fucking trippy illusion.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible
finally get to
wrong.
interact with Museum Lady.
Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed
Oh,
by the
you're talking the
machine.
bucket,
Don't
not me.
reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together.
Oh, right,
the
Museum
bucket
Lady
should take
talks
his
to the
place
player,
as
not
ruler, as leader, as
Stanley.
commander
I
of a
forgot
new
that part.
world, a new vision.
I still don't know what her
GG.
deal is.
We're not supposed to.
Figures.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Well, so much for that being the last one we do for this.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the
Oh,
bucket
thank-
in his arms again, he was home.
Alright, confusion ending.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Which way is the confusion ending again? Give me a minute.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Ending.
And so the two of
I
them
know
detoured
where
through the
to trigger
maintenance
it. I
section
need to
and
remember
walked
how
straight
to
ahead
get
to the
there.
opposite door. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
No, down there's the insanity ending. I don't want that. Cannot remember where the confusion ending is for the life of me.
Stepping into his
okay,
manager's
that failed.
office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always.
2,
The
8,
bucket,
4,
Stanley
5.
guessed the correct code.
I'll
by
remember
showing
it
Shut up.
the
eventually.
mark. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Confusion ending. Which one is that? Don't really remember.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
I don't want. I don't remember where the confusion ending is. I don't want to do this, but I kind of have to now because I already. Yeah. Whatever. Alright, Mr. Brighting, tell me this so-called twist.
The lights rose
there,
on
I
an
gotta get up
enormous
there.
room packed with television screens. What horrible
Oh,
secret
how to
did
get
this
up
place
there.
hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Can't remember how to get up there.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Pirate. That one said pirate or something. Hold on. Employee 427. 42. Yeah. Me. Yeah.
The different views for different rooms. It's just like, what the fuck?
What?
Like, all the different views in different rooms. Fired! I love that one.
That one and that one match. Yeah, fired. Why does that one say pirate? The longest time I thought it actually said private.
Was the bucket
But no,
under
it
the
says
mind control
pirate.
facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Still trying to rack my brains for it.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Do you remember where it is? Where the confusion ending is? Because I can't.
But here was the proof. The heart of
I
the
can't even remember
operation.
what the confusion ending
Controls
was.
labeled
We've
with
seen so many
emotions,
endings.
happy or sad or content.
The only one I can remember is the
Walking,
adventure line.
eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from
And
this
the
very
baby.
place. And as the cold reality of his past
And
began to sink
call
in,
your wife.
Stanley decided that this machinery
Which I
would
didn't
never
do yet
again
either.
exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends,
Wasn't the lighting
Stanley and the
brighter
bucket, up
in the
against the
original?
world. They high-fived in a really cool way.
I
And the
love
bucket made a sassy comment about
the
taking
bucket
down
part.
the
Like, if you
system.
actually don't, if you turn the machine back on. That was a cute ending.
Oh, is that the high five?
No.
Oh, wait a minute. Is there 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 or something? Oh, what was it? Turn it off and on again, you said?
Yeah, you turn it off. You either turn it
When
off
at
or you
last
turn
they
it
came
on.
to the source of the room's
Both
power,
of them have very
Stanley and the bucket
interesting
knew
endings.
it was their obligation
I
to
remember-
put an
But
end to
I
this
like-
horrible place and to
Something.
everything it stood for.
Not close enough. Ah,
So I would say turn it on. I like the on ending.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness.
I already turned it off.
Was it over?
I had said to turn it on. You better
Yes,
do it off.
they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end.
It's actually kind of
True,
cool.
it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and...
Oh,
What? Wait,
door's
what was
stuck.
happening? Why had the door
Well, let
stopped?
the bucket go.
Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket.
Bucket.
No.
Provide light.
Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he
As
was
long as
about
I
to find
don't
out.
drop it. Ah, what's confusion ending? Racking brain.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd
And
never be alone
smiled.
again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
Racking my brain. Racking my
Stanley
You're racking
clutched
your
the bucket
brains, also
tightly
implies
to his
that multiples
chest.
of them have
This
been
was
racked.
not the
That
direct
about
way to the
before.
meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge
Wait a minute.
was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
It's not forward.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Where it is.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Right, but it can't. That's the insanity end. Oh.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it.
It looks
I'm sure it will come to me.
terrible. Okay, that's the insanity ending. I don't want that. I just don't like it, honestly. Never have. If we just go back out. No, this is just a rocket ship ending. Wait a minute, no it's not. This is... What is this? This isn't anything, so... What? Apparently the door back would open back up if you did that. That's the insanity ending down here is different somehow now. That's the door you come. No, yeah, that should be how you do the rocket ship ending, but escape pod or whatever, but the door back doesn't look about.
But Stanley
Whatever,
just
guess we're
couldn't
doing
do it.
insanity ending.
He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze. but said
Returned his
nothing at all.
gaze.
That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next.
No, mine has
None of them
stickers
were
on
his.
it.
None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old
This is
friend.
literally
It
the
was the only
craziest
way to
ending.
truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
I don't think that's how the
Was
metaphor
incredibly
works.
painful.
It was incredibly painful.
Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
I don't think that's how the metaphor works.
Not how the metaphor's supposed to
This
go.
is the story
but
of
all
a
right.
woman named Mariella.
Does Mariella find a bucket?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her
Yep.
bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Okay, that's better than regular insanity ending, at least. I say... tomorrow? Gonna come back to this tomorrow? Laura?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Maybe... I kind of want to find the insanity ending.
All of his
No, I mean
co-workers
the
were
confusion
gone.
ending.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting. The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
Wait, is that corner usually? No, that corner's not. Oh, it's new. New stuff. Never mind, it's not new stuff anymore.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Cannot remember for the life of me where the confusion ending is.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
So backing out for this door was the insanity. I think you have to back out then.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned.
It's on to you. It's like, no.
Stanley had
I
never
must have
seen the
walked
office
like a
this
half
brightly lit.
pixel further
Was it a
than
sign of
usual that
something?
time or
He
something.
hoped it... Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be... Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to
I
his
love how
chest
many different
and
lines there are
entered the
picking
door
up the
on his
bucket.
left.
I love it. Alright, come on, bucket. We gotta get to the escape pod.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Alright, you got a confusion ending, so escape pod it is. Alright, so as again. Middle of the doorway. Yep. Center.
Stepping into his
I
manager's
swear to
office,
God that
Stanley
keeps
was once
closing
again
at a different
stunned
time.
to discover not an indication of any
It's
human
the
life.
bucket.
Crushed by the weight
Okay,
of
you
this
know that? Did you
revelation,
look that up, I
Stanley
guess?
may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing
It's
presence
the only thing I
of the
can think
bucket.
of is it's the only thing I can think of is
In his
because you have the
darkest
bucket.
of hours, did the bucket's
Maybe that's
warmth
keeping
and
me from
guiding
getting the
light
confusion ending
pierce the
too.
dark clouds of confusion and chaos? It would be with him, always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable.
2, 8,
At this
4,
point,
5.
but Stanley
I
guessed the
remembered
correct
it this
code by
time.
sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I think it's blocking out the confusion ending too then, but if that's the case... I don't want to press the no button. I want to go to the warehouse.
Oh, hit the no button, trust me.
I want to go to the warehouse.
All of his
Ah,
co-workers
you
were
should
gone.
hit the no
What could
button.
it mean? Stanley
I know what
decided to
it
go to the meeting room.
does.
A good
It's
bucket,
okay.
a strong bucket,
I'll do
a
it.
Do you know what it
hungry bucket,
does?
a committed
I know what it
bucket,
does, yes.
a bucket of culture
You sure?
and distinction. Stanley clutched
What's
the
it do
bucket
when you
tightly
have the
to his-
bucket?
This was
That
not
part I don't
the
know. I know
right
what
to
it
the
does with
meeting
without
room,
the bucket,
but
though.
Stanley had felt the
It
bucket
does it a
calling
different
to him,
thing.
telling
can
him
guess.
that the employee lounge
Go ahead,
was simply
guess.
the place to be.
I'm not going to
And
guess. I
here it
just could.
was. Had the bucket turned out to be
Well,
correct?
try and
Well,
guess.
never mind. The
You
bucket
go,
was
Wanna see if you
wrong.
guys-
because the
Stanley took
ending
the
that
door
usually
on his
lets you go
left to
free
go back
keeps
to
you
the
in.
meeting
The
room.
ending that lets you stay lets you go.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go
Nah,
somewhere
you
else.
really should have
The
gone.
cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
The ending they give you just throws you off. It's just like, what?
Planks! Oh. Planks! No, I'm not going to the cargo lift. I'm going to get the collectible. Yeah, this is a rickety as hell bridge.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anmarines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one. And then the
Figure
first number will
Anmarines.
equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them. And now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler Anmarines. None of us can.
Figure Annalie. Oh, event. Oh, this is new. That's a lot of cassette tapes.
Okay, this is day number 295.
Excuse me?
Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's
Video bucket.
unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
Are you sure this isn't a horror game? What the hell?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Did you see that part before, Laura?
Ah, the embrace of an old friend. A weathered companionship that stands the test of time. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Alright, I'll go press the on button. You're still here, right?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Red and blue. Red and blue, red and blue. The only place I can imagine
Coming to a
that's red and
staircase,
blue.
Stanley and the bucket walked
Isn't
upstairs to
confusing.
the
Exactly
boss's
like that.
office.
Huh? What? Tries again.
Stepping into
Yeah,
his
that's definitely
manager's
different.
office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
There's 1,000% different timing.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Yeah, it's actually the last one for tonight. I want to go to
The monitors
bed
jumped to
and
life,
or have
and
a
Stanley
sandwich
nearly
and
dropped
or
the
have
bucket in
chips.
shock. Everyone in the
Some
office was being
combination of those two.
videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter, his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Gates that I can't go into. Must be stuff when the narrator goes all power hungry and is like, wah ha ha, this place shall explode in 5 seconds. Or something like that, whatever he does. Gotta
Yeah.
push the buttons.
When at last they
Alright,
came to
so-
the... But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Freaking birds, man.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Not too ending that it ends with a Stanley is happy.
All of his co-workers
Oh, it
were
was a
gone.
cute ending. That's why I kept
mean?
telling it to hit
Stanley
no.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a
I'm gonna
memo.
skip the bucket. I'm gonna see if I can find the conclusion ending on my own. I'm gonna get the bucket back. Try to bring
When
it
Stanley
in
came to a
until
set
we
of two
confirm
open
that
doors,
bucket-
he
that
entered this
conclusion
was
ending.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley
Bet.
knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted
plan.
to stop by the employee lounge first,
Ooh.
just to admire it.
Maybe I can get the bucket on the way back.
The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too majestic.
minute.
Like a combination of a much smaller version and a much larger version of this exact room. It all made Stanley uncomfortable, and he started to bleed a little. This made him smile. At last, proof that he was human.
That's new.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
New non-bucket dialogue.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
New broom closet dialogue.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into
Yeah,
his manager's
it was
office,
just that
Stanley
difficult
was
to
once
do.
again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
There's
The
nothing
bucket made
bucket
Stanley want to be
exclusive
a
about
better
it. It's
man
just
and
difficult to
a
do.
better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of them. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I think that's the thing. Is it's not. There's nothing bucket about it. It's just difficult to do in general.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
And the picture. Oh, that's not. That's not good.
Stepping into his manager's office, all of his co-workers
Termination,
were
I
gone.
see.
What could it
Oh,
mean?
we're taking the left
Stanley
turn
decided
today.
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
I said it'd be the last one
Stanley
like 3 times
clutched the
ago.
bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
But no, I got like first try last time too when I did it before.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into
I
his
almost had
manager's
it. I almost had it. Then walked out of it though. Okay. So
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after.
Aw.
Stanley hoped that he would want. It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded on. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's
Yeah,
office,
it's a different timing every time I try it, I swear.
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Stanley cradled the bucket in a gentle embrace, protective yet delicate, assertive yet compassionate. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I did have a strategy. It's gonna feather inward. I'm trying to...
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh, where's the next input?
Stepping into his
Okay, so
manager's
it's time-based, I guess. It's not distance, it's how time. Oh?
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
Stanley's bucket, the only co-worker he would ever truly need. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have
Almost.
broken down into an emotional
Look
dumpster
at
fire,
this.
if not for the
Look at
soothing
this
presence of
bullshit.
the bucket.
Okay, it's definitely doable.
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please.
Is Stanley, without the bucket, really Stanley at all? No, no, surely not. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay, it's 12:30. I think this is actually going to be my last try for the night. And we'll do it again tomorrow. 20 times.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's
Okay, I had
office,
it that
Stanley
time.
was
I
once
just
again
moved out too
stunned
soon.
to discover not an indication of any human life.
Okay, that's it though, really. It's like you keep doing it for another hour, but I need to get to bed soon. It was a good time for you tomorrow. I'll just stop recording now, because